Welcome to the video about connections in the Alberta Health Services series, Tips for Success, Getting Through Mealtime Struggles. We'll start with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that what we call Alberta is a land of Treaties 6, 7, and 8. We are living and working on the traditional and ancestral territory of many people. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis settlements, and Inuit who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on or are visiting. This video is intended as general information for all caregivers. It is not intended to provide a diagnosis or to replace the advice of a qualified health professional. If you have specific questions about your child or family, please call 811 or talk to your doctor or other healthcare provider. This video is about warm connections between you and your child to support positive mealtimes. Parents usually want mealtimes to be relaxed, a time when everyone interacts and enjoys the food that's offered, where children know when they're hungry and when they're full, where parents are reassured their child is eating enough and growing well, and don't feel pressured to bribe or force them to eat. This ideal, comfortable, and relaxed setting may not happen at every meal, every day, or even every week, and that's okay. No relationship is perfect, and no family is perfect either. As a parent, you are learning as you go and want to do what's best for your child and family. At the same time, you may have an idea of changes you'd like to see. In this video, you will learn about parent-child connections and situations that affect this relationship, reading your child's cues to understand their reactions and needs, using serve and return to build strong connections and trust, what's involved in self-regulation and co-regulation for your child and you, strategies to try before, during, and after meals to strengthen connections and create more positive mealtimes. In the introduction video, you learned about using the goal wheel. In the middle circle, if you wish, you can add a goal about connecting with your child. Ask yourself without judgment how you're feeling about your connection with your child. As you go through this video, add the strategies or tips you think might work for you, your child, and your family. You can print the goal wheel by scanning the QR code found later in this presentation. It takes you to the goal wheel on the Pediatric Eating and Swallowing website. Think back to your own childhood. What were mealtimes like when you were growing up? What choices were allowed? Who ate together? How often? What were the rules at the table? Now, how do these childhood experiences affect or influence mealtimes at your house? If you wish, you can pause the video here to think about these questions. Continue with the video when you're ready. This worry cycle shows parents' concerns or worries about feeding children. Along with the daily responsibility of putting food on the table, many parents are worried about their child's growth. Are they eating enough? They also worry about wasting food when their child takes a long time to accept new foods. As well, differences between parents about expectations or food preferences can affect each parent's response at mealtimes. It's not surprising that parents do whatever they can to make sure the child eats. Some parents offer rewards or bribes. If you eat your carrots, you can have ice cream for dessert. Some parents put food into the child's mouth when they don't want to eat, or say, you can't leave the table until you finish everything on your plate. Still others try to correct uncooperative behavior. You didn't eat any broccoli, so you can't play a video game after dinner. Such actions make children upset at mealtimes. They might refuse to come to the table, be particular about what they eat, or have meltdowns. The children's responses are then also upsetting for parents. In this video, the Neuro-Relational Framework, or the NRF, is an approach used to understand children's struggles at mealtimes and discover what to do. The NRF is based on science about how the brain works and research on relationships. NRF uses the tree to represent the child. Below the ground are the roots, above it is a trunk, and at the top are the branches and leaves. The roots represent the quality of your child's sleep. which is affected by their health concerns and ability to cope with stress. The trunk is a connection or relationship between you and your child or other caregivers. It is based on trust. The branches and leaves represent your child's skills and preferences. The next few slides looks at each level and their relevance to mealtimes. The roots represent your child's well-being. This includes how much sleep they've had over a 24-hour period and their ability to cope with stress. Being calm and alert for most of the day supports your child's development, as well as their brain and body to function. Stress is a tension all people feel. Healthy stress motivates you to try new things and reach goals. Feeling stressed for a short time builds resiliency in adults and children. Resiliency is the ability to recover or bounce back from stressful experiences. The longer your well-being, or roots, the better your resiliency. In other words, a rested, healthy body and brain makes it easier to bounce back from stress. Feeling stressed for long periods has a negative impact on how well the brain and body work. For some children, stress occurs around mealtimes, which affects their appetite and being open to eating. At the roots level, there are several common health concerns which can upset your child's sleep and stop them from being open to eating. Constipation and diarrhea lead to poor appetite and makes your child feel uncomfortable. Reflux is when food comes back up from the stomach. Remembering that discomfort can make children want to stick with foods they know. Other health issues include having a frequent sore throat or stuffy nose, feeling unwell or having nausea, that is, feeling as if they want to throw up. Not eating enough iron-rich foods or having low iron levels can be the reason for low energy and poor appetite. Cavities can make it difficult to chew foods. Talk to your doctor or pediatrician about your concerns about your child's health, energy, or iron levels. As mentioned earlier, sleep is affected by health concerns. This chart from the National Sleep Foundation shows the recommended hours of sleep based on age. Remember, how deeply and restfully a person sleeps for their age is as important as how long they sleep. Even a little bit of poor sleep can lead to difficulties, making it hard for your child to play, learn, be active, and cope with changes. Think about times when you didn't sleep well. How did you handle changes in your routine? Did it affect how you connected with others? Iron is a vital nutrient for sleep and healthy brain function. Research shows that restless and interrupted sleep is linked to poor iron levels. Poor sleep can also be caused by reflux, mouth breathing, snoring, or pauses in breathing while sleeping. Look at the handout titled Iron-Rich Foods. The QR codes that link to it is in the resources section at the end of this video. Talk to your doctor or pediatrician if you're concerned about your child's iron levels or problems with breathing during sleep. You can also see an occupational therapist or nurse for your child's sleep concerns. The Canadian 24-Hour Movement Guidelines has suggestions for active play to help with sleep. A healthy root system supports the trunk and the branches. The trunk is a connection or relationship between your child and you or other caregivers. You may be wondering how relationships are connected to eating. Here's an example. When you're making soup, you know many of the foods that might go into it: vegetables, meat, noodles, and spices. Your child might recognize a couple of the foods, but the dish might smell or look different, so they might be slow to take a taste or even try it at all. If they do try it, they might be surprised by the different flavors or textures, all in one dish. Texture is how the food feels in their mouth. You as a parent can respond with warmth and understanding to their hesitation to try the soup. As a result, your child knows that you understand why they are slow to try the soup. This type of interaction builds trust and relationships. The trunk, which represents the relationship, is about being responsive to your child's feelings. When your child is upset, try not to say their behavior is good or bad, or that they're being cooperative or uncooperative. Instead, understand they can't tell you how they feel or why. Maybe the task is too difficult for them to do. Maybe they're scared or overwhelmed because they're really excited. Try not to take their words or actions personally. Instead, Focus on finding out the reasons for their distress and learning how to help them. I see you're mad and you don't want to try the soup. How about we see what's in the soup that you might like to eat? Try to see your child's behavior as communication. They share their emotions or how they're feeling through actions, gestures, and words. Also, remember that they may not be very good at using words, especially when they're upset. Try to match your expectations with what they can do. Expectations are what you want them to do, which might not match their skills or preferences. For example, think about how long can your child reasonably stay at the table? Which textures can they eat safely? Do they like to eat with the music on or off? You might want to think about what else happened during their day. If there were changes to their routine, how did they respond and cope? Did they have enough time to connect with others close to them? It will give you an idea of why a mealtime is going well or poorly. Your child may not be able to tell you how they feel, what they want, or what is upsetting them, or if they're hungry or full. Instead, read their cues or signals. For example, look at the expressions on their face and the look in their eyes. What about their voice? Do they sound angry, frustrated, sad, or something else? Is their body tense or relaxed? Are they running around a lot or sitting quietly? Also remember to think about how you're feeling. Your child's reactions and actions can make you feel stressed and unhappy. Your child knows when you're upset by how you sound and look. What does your face, voice, and body tell others about how you're feeling? Is your breathing fast or slow? Is your heart rate steady or racing? Do your body and muscles feel tense or relaxed? Is your voice loud or calm? It's difficult to comfort your child and respond with warmth when you are worried and stressed. This pie chart helps you to read and understand your child's signals. These signals are seen throughout the day, including mealtimes. There are 4 color zones in the chart: red, blue, red-blue combo, and green. Red, blue, and the red-blue combo zones are the stress zones. Green is a calm and relaxed zone. Being in the green zone shows recovery from one of the stress zones. It is healthy to experience each of the stress colors every day. They help your child learn how to adapt to changes. Feeling stressed for a short time builds resiliency in adults and children. Resiliency is the ability to recover or bounce back from stressful experiences. Think about times when you felt upset from a stressful event. Think about how you recovered from this short period of stress. What helped you recover? Was it someone listening to your feelings, offering words of comfort, or offering to help? In the same way, your child may also need your help to recover. If your child is stressed too often, for too long, or too intensely, it can affect their appetite, their ability to eat, and take part in mealtimes. This slide shows examples of the green and blue zones. Keep in mind these photos are just one moment in time. The baby is in the green zone, safe, calm, relaxed. They are smiling and seem happy to eat their food. In the green zone, your child is able to connect, pay attention, learn, and take part in mealtimes. The young boy in the checkered shirt is in the blue zone, faint or freeze. There's little expression on his face and he doesn't seem interested in eating. Being in this zone might mean the child is very still and doesn't respond to questions. He might be reacting to a new taste or texture, or perhaps he's tired or not hungry. In the blue zone, your child's actions slow down. They're not interested in playing or connecting with people. The crying child is in the red zone, fight, flight, or flit. You can see they are very upset. Children in the red zone may also yell, kick, or lash out. Sometimes they are so excited they can't listen to you. This crying child could be reacting to the smell, taste, or texture of the food. Or maybe it's not related to the food at all. Maybe they're tired, or wanted to play longer, or wanted to use a spoon by themselves. The child in the white t-shirt could be in the red-blue combo zone, fright. His body is still, but his face shows worry or uneasiness. The red-blue combo zone signals can be the most difficult to notice and perhaps understand. Your child looks fine on the outside, but on the inside they might be feeling overwhelmed. They might be quietly anxious and want to be by your side all the time. During or after stressful situations, adults and children have different ways to recover or calm themselves. This is called self-regulation, the ability to go back into the green zone. Your baby is born with only a few ways to self-regulate, like sucking on their fingers. With help from parents, children learn other ways to self-regulate. Co-regulation is when one person is calm and is able to help self-regulate the other person who is stressed. Your child may need your help to self-regulate before, during, and after mealtimes. Try to read their cues and understand what they're trying to tell you. Which zone are they in? Be at their eye level. Try not to stand over them. Discover and use the sensations they like. Do they like a light or deep hug? What kind of music is calming? To help calm your child, you have to be regulated, meaning be in the green zone yourself. This is challenging when mealtimes are not going well. Think about what you can do to stay calm at mealtimes. Consider what has worked for you in other situations. Does deep breathing help, or slowly counting to 5 before responding? Some families find it very helpful to write "It's just one meal" as a reminder note in the kitchen. And remember, it's okay to ask for help. It's time to look at the top of the NRF tree, the branches and the leaves. This level is about your child's skills and preferences, their mealtime routine, and roles. Skills mean your child's abilities to chew and swallow food, sit well and feed themselves, share their feelings and thoughts using signs, gestures, or words, to focus, think, remember, and interact with others. Food preferences are also at this level. That means what your child likes about the taste, texture, and temperature of food. Remember, texture is how the food feels in their mouth. The roles of parents and their child at mealtimes are also at this branches level. More information about your child's skills and preferences are covered in the child development video. As mentioned earlier, the branches are about the roles of parent and child at mealtimes. The adult's role is to offer foods, what foods to offer, where to offer foods, and when to offer food. The child's role is to decide how much to eat and whether or not to eat. An easy way to remember this is adults provide, children decide. Tips and strategies in the next section will look at roles before and during meals. Serve and return is an approach to help you connect with your child before, during, and after meals. Serve and return is a bit like tossing a ball back and forth. It's a back and forth interactions between you and your child. These interactions can create moments of shared joy and warmth, build trust, and strengthen connections. Trust is important when your child needs your help to calm at mealtimes. Serve and return can happen at any time throughout the day, during any activity. It can be for short or long moments. Just follow your child's pace and interest. It can be as simple as a hug or reading together, or commenting on their play or activity. I see you're playing with puzzles. You ran so fast. Look at you setting the table. It looks great. Such comments help your child know that you're noticing their cues, see what they're doing, and notice their efforts and interests. When the opportunity comes up, try to notice what they say and how they're feeling. Be at their level to play and connect. Follow their interests and pace or speed of their play. An easy way of doing this is to copy whatever your child is already doing. Opportunities to connect with your child occur all day long, not just at mealtimes. How well their day is going will tell you a lot about their readiness to eat. Think about your child. Were they mostly in the green zone? What made them slide into one of the stress zones? Did they sleep well? Are there any health concerns? Try to notice their reactions and be available to respond with warmth. Change your expectations. Set up activities to match their skill level. Use serve and return to connect with your child. The when of the parent role is really about routines. A routine makes sure your child eats at regular times. That helps them to have enough nutrition and energy throughout the day. When hungry, Your child can quickly move from the calm green zone into another stress zone. Let your child know that you've noticed their cues. I see you're upset. You must be hungry. Dinner will be ready soon. You stopped eating. You must be full. This lets your child know that you've noticed their cues and gives them the opportunity to respond. When to offer food is discovered more in the environment and routine and nutrition videos. Before meals, your role is to decide where you will eat as a family. Due to busy schedules, shift work, or children's activities, eating together every day is not always possible. It might be tough, but try to eat together as a family when you can. Eating together allows everyone to connect with each other. Before meals, try to include your child with meal preparation or setting the table. Besides the opportunity to connect with your child, it's also a great way for your child to see, smell, and touch foods without the expectation of eating. Choose a task based on their interest or skill level. They can put away groceries, put vegetable trimmings into the compost bin, wash vegetables and fruits, place cheese or meat slices on bread to make a sandwich, tear lettuce for a salad. Sometimes you may see that your child has slipped into one of the stress zones before the meal. First, try and find out why your child is distressed. Are they tired or unwell? Were they ready to leave their play? Are they full from an earlier snack or really hungry or thirsty? Are they worried about what they'll be asked to eat? Your child may need to help to transition, that is, move from play to eating. This type of co-regulation support helps them stay in the green zone as they move to the table. Think about your child's age, abilities, interests, and preferences to decide how to transition. A warm transition includes noticing what they're doing, joining their activity, including them, and reassurance. For example, first notice the activity your child is doing and let them know what's coming up next. I see you're playing with the truck. We're going to have lunch in 5 minutes. Take a minute to join their activity and invite sharing. I'm driving my truck too. How about we drive to the kitchen? Invite them to be involved and offer choices. Would you like to put the dishes on the table or put food out for the dog? Reassure them what's on the table. We've got your favorite cheese today. The environment routine video provides more tips about transitioning to a meal or snack time. Once at the table, your child may refuse to eat or only eat a very small portion. You've read their cues to know they're hungry and you might feel frustrated. From your child's point of view, maybe the smell of the food is making them feel sick, or they don't see any of the foods they like to eat and are asked to try a new food. It's tempting to use distractions to get your child to eat, but distractions don't allow connections between your child and you. They connect with a toy or video instead. Taking the toy or video away suddenly might put your child into the red, blue, or red-blue combo zones. Instead, move the toy slowly in small steps. Start the meal with the toy and remove it close to the end of the meal. A few days later, remove the toy halfway through the meal, and so on. Watch how your child does and match their speed of accepting the toy being taken away. Remember to not look at your phone or screen while eating. Children copy what their parents do. The environment and routine video looks at other ways to handle distractions. As you will remember, the parent's role is to decide what foods to offer. Plan to include 1 or 2 foods that your child usually accepts as part of the family meal. This lets your child know that you recognize their food preferences and abilities. This makes it easier for your child to come to the table knowing there's something they can eat. Place foods that are new to them on the table for them to self-serve. Use the magic words to build trust. You don't have to eat it. You might notice small changes which are actually huge steps for your child. Serving themselves when they're ready. Taking even just a spoonful is a big step. Having a very small taste. Even eating a very little amount, even if they spit it out. Try not to say anything if they spit it out. What's important is that they tried. Remember, some new foods need to be offered many times before your child will eat them. This type of approach builds their curiosity and confidence to try new foods. You'll find more information about how to introduce new foods in the child development video. Some parents try hiding foods in recipes to introduce new foods as well as add calories and nutrition. However, some children notice very small changes in their preferred foods. They might not eat it because they don't know why it looks or tastes different. It can set back the changes your child has made. Be honest if they ask what's in the food. This will build trust. If you want to try adding some extra vegetables to your child's meal, let them watch or help you make the dish. It doesn't mean they'll eat it, but they'll know what's in it. You can also try offering the new recipe along with the original one so your child can try both. For example, add grated zucchini to a few of the pancakes, but not all. How can your child feel understood when it's the adult's role to decide what, where, and when to eat? Giving choices is a great way to help your child feel like they have some control. Having choices sets the stage for more positive meal times and better connections with your child. For example, you can offer a choice of which plate to use, or a choice between two vegetables. These are choices that allow your child some freedom while still respecting your parental role in deciding to serve vegetables. You might have spent a lot of time trying to convince your child to eat. Try not to say, "Take a bite," or bribe them by saying, "This is so yummy, you'll love it." Be neutral about food. Try not to use words such as good or bad. This is a hard habit to break. Instead, use words to describe the food, its shape, color, temperature, texture, taste, or smell. This cucumber is a circle. The carrot is orange and crunchy. The dip is spicy. If they ask you, tell them what you like about the food using the same descriptions. I like the cucumber because it's cool and crisp. Remember, it's okay if your child says they don't like it. Give attention to what they did. You dipped the carrot in the spicy dip. With older children, let everyone at the table know how they helped to make a meal or set the table. Give praise and acknowledge their efforts. Simon helped me make the salad. He worked really hard to tear up the lettuce. Otherwise, it's best not to talk about food. Instead, have conversations about their interests. How was that new book from the library? Or talk about your day and plans for the weekend. Guess what happened to me? Your child may have had a tough time at the table, and it's important to reconnect after the meal. With time, your child will know that you're there to support them. Prepare yourself. Recognize that it's hard for you to see your child upset. Think about what you need to do to get into the green zone so that you're available to co-regulate them. Posture and position. Get down to your child's level. If they're really upset, try not to force eye contact and don't expect them to respond. Do they want you to be close or a little bit away from you? They just need to know you're there. Understand. Let them know you know how they feel. Try not to ignore or dismiss their feelings. I'm sorry, that was hard, and seeing and smelling the new food. It was hard staying at the table for so long when you wanted to read. Reaffirm and reassure. Reassure your child that the meal or snack is over and give praise, even if it's the smallest change. We're all done. You put food on your plate all by yourself. Resist rushing through their feelings of sadness or being upset. Give them time to calm. Just being there beside them is calming too. Comfort back to green. Think of what your child needs. It could be a hug or a distraction. Think about what has worked before. Offer choices for activities to do after the meal. When possible, follow their interest in selecting an activity. Now take time for yourself to recover and get back into the green zone. After your child is settled, take a few minutes to think about how you feel. What can you do now to recover? Take care of yourself. If it's at all possible, take a small break. Ask for help from a spouse or a friend. When ready, think about what did you do well to stay in the green zone. If you weren't in the green zone, what made it difficult? What can you try next time? Parenting is hard, always having to put children's needs first and being available to support them through their struggles. Thank you for listening to this video about connections between parents and children. From this video, you know the importance of a good night's sleep and stress resilience in supporting positive mealtimes. You have tips and strategies to use before, during, and after the meal. You know how to discover what is causing your child to be upset and how to read their cues. You can look at your child's behavior differently and know how to change your perspective and expectations. You know how to use serve and return to build trust, connect with warmth, and experience moments of shared joy. You know what to do to support your child's self-regulation and how to be available to co-regulate. Take a moment and think about what you heard in this video. Think about your child and family and celebrate what's going well. Which tips will you add to your goal wheel about connections with your child? What tip could you try first? The next few slides have resources that might be interesting and helpful to you. You can connect to the resources through the QR codes, which are the black and white patterns. Pause the video and scan the QR code with your smartphone camera if you have one. You will be prompted to open the link on your smartphone. As mentioned in the beginning of this video, you can print a copy of the Go Wheel from the Pediatric Eating and Swallowing, or PEAS, website. The PEAS website also has links on information on both general public health information and more specialized feeding support should that be required. If you need more support for your child's feeding and eating, or want to find occupational therapists and speech-language pathologists, you can go to the Alberta Health Services Pediatric Rehabilitation website. If you have questions about nutrition or feeding, please call HealthLink and ask to talk to a dietitian. HealthLink has dietitians available to answer nutrition questions for anyone in Alberta. The first QR code links to the handout on iron-rich foods. The second link is the Alberta Health Services Healthy Parents, Healthy Children resource. You'll find everyday care and parenting tips to support healthy child development in the early years. More information about the neuro-relational framework, serve and return, and sleep are found at these links. Thank you for watching this video. Please pause the video and scan the QR code to go to a very short survey. Thank you for taking this time to complete the survey. Your comments will be used to improve this video about connections. Remember to watch the other videos in the Alberta Health Services webinar series, Tips for Success, Getting Through Mealtime Struggles.